Just under 300 miles from Kite Beach Cabarete lies a place that offers spectacular views, both on the water and beneath it. This small salt mining village on the southwest coast of the Dominican Republic offers amazing diving and kiteboarding for those willing to make the journey. 30 years ago, former Olympian Antonio Estiban discovered this place and has called it his home kite spot ever since. Punta Salinas has never made it on my radar as a kite spot, but after going, I can see why he chose to make this his home. Some places leave you with a sense of peace, others a sense of adventure. Places like this, well, they bring all that and something more. Something that words just can't quite do justice. Something you'll have to experience for yourself. We have just left Cabarete in the Dominican Republic, obviously a popular windsurfing and kite surfing town on the north coast of the DR, and we are on our way south. It is raining in Cabarete, not that much fun right now, and I got a tip from a friend in Canada about this spot on the south coast called Punta Salinas, and it's a beach in an old salt mining village. It's not very well known, but there's wind there, and see what we can discover there. I'm making my way to a small beach to go diving with Antonio and some friends. In the early 80s, he heard of a village where the water was crystal clear in the morning, but by noon the water was so rough and the wind was so strong that divers and fishers could not brave it. There is always a sense of mystery getting into the water on a foreign beach. Much like exploring new kite spots, you never quite know what to expect. Needless to say, I'm blown away by the pristine beauty of this place. Later this afternoon, like clockwork, the wind picked up. High winds are not optimal for diving, but they are perfect for kiteboarding. The winds here are actually a bit stronger than I'm used to, but amazing nonetheless. We rode until dark and hit the town for dinner. All in all, I am taken aback by this entire experience. I woke up early the next morning and set out to meet Antonio for an interview. We're here today with Antonio Estiban, also known as Antonio Banderas here in Salinas. And Antonio has an amazing history here in the Dominican Republic, including competing in the Olympics representing the Dominican Republic. So, Antonio, could you tell us a bit about your background in windsurfing and your adventures in the Olympics?
Oh yeah, in the late 70s I was sailing and I saw a weird craft. Somebody was sailing on it, standing up, and then suddenly the mast breaks. So I immediately assumed that they need rescue, so I sailed up to them. I was about to offer some help. He pulls the rope and gets the mast off and takes off again. I'm like, that's fun. And he was really fast. So I found out that was windsurfing. So I started windsurfing immediately. And by 1982, I competed in the Central American Olympic Games in Cuba. That was a lot of fun. And then in 84 in the Summer Olympics in Los Angeles.
Now, interestingly enough, back in the 1980s, Antonio was the only member of the Dominican Republic sailing team. That means he was a representative, flag bearer, coach, and athlete. Not only was he a pioneer Olympian for his country, but he started kiteboarding in the mid-90s on those old two-line Whippica kites. Now, if you know anything about the early days of kiteboarding, you know they were not exactly user-friendly.
And I think I started Whippica kiting with two lines in 1996. Every once in a while, I would get a really big gust, and I would just be dragged. You couldn't be powered, so just flying. And then one time, I was dragged so hard, I lost my shorts.
Oh, good.
Had to walk back.
Kite surfing nightmare.
I wrapped the kite around me, yeah.
The original kite mare, no shorts.
Yes.
We've spent the last few days here in a place called Punta Salinas, and it's beautiful, but it's pretty remote. I don't see a lot of kites here, so tell me a bit about how you found this place, how you stumbled upon it.
Early 80s, I heard some divers talk about an amazing place to dive with crystal clear water, but it was too windy at noon. You had to go very early, otherwise it would be impossible because it would blow 20-30 knots every day around noon. And I'm like, oh, that's where I want to go. So I asked them where it was, and they told me Salinas. I fell in love with the place. I bought a little house. It's been in my family for like 30 years now. We've been coming almost every weekend here to sail.
So you've been coming to this spot for 30 years. How have you seen it change from then until now?
Very little, actually. Very little has changed, and I think even with this project Punta Arena, very little will change. This is a place that can become an amazing kiting or water sports spot if it's so windy and the waters are crystal clear, and people will come from all over the world to kite here for sure.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I never heard of Punta Salinas until I came here, and even most of the kiters from Cabarete that I spoke to, I've never heard of this spot. I have no idea it exists. But it's a wonderful spot. It was windy. It was windy for like sunrise till sunset. Too much to do in one day.
It is true.
Yes, it's a wonderful spot.
Well, I'll be very happy to share this spot with anyone who wants to come and enjoy it too.
I would definitely recommend it.